Welcome back, everybody, to another exhilarating life lesson learned courtroom episode of Lockdown 23 in 1. That's right, today we're going to witness a young lady get sentenced for organizing a street takeover. What exactly is that? I'll break it down here in 1 second, but first, as always, if you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my beautifully assorted playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, it says here 23-year-old Ashlyn Rogers, who investigators believe orchestrated the Cleveland street takeovers on September 28th and September 29th in 2024. She pled guilty to aggravated riot and disrupting public service on June 11th. And we're going to go into the courtroom and witness her get sentenced for that today. But first, what exactly is a street takeover? A street takeover is an illegal and dangerous event where drivers block public roads, typically at intersections, to perform reckless stunts like donuts and drifting, often for spectators to watch and record for social media. Also known as sideshows, these gatherings pose significant threats to public safety, leading to injuries for participants and bystanders, property damage, traffic disruption, and interference with emergency services. Law enforcement is increasingly cracking down on these events with new penalties including vehicle impoundment, driver's license suspension, fines for spectators, or even felony charges for organizers. So now that you know what a street takeover is, let me go ahead and break down why Ashlyn Rogers is considered to be an organizer. It says authorities said the takeovers involved 80 to 100 vehicles, with Rogers utilizing multiple Instagram accounts to provide various instructions to participants and continuously include new locations to attend. Rogers, a native of Port Clinton, Ohio, was also facing a charge of possessing criminal tools, but the charge was nulled per the outlet. As part of the plea, she also agreed to forfeit her 2020 Infiniti Q50, as well as a mobile phone. Prior to being sentenced for a role in the takeovers, Rogers spoke to Cuyahoga County Judge. And that's where we're going to begin the courtroom episode, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get right into it. Alright, here we go, and look at the wood trim in this courtroom. It's been quite a while since I've seen Icelandic Colorado River drift birch.
Ms. Rogers, is there anything that you wish to say or present today to the court before I impose your sentence?
Good afternoon. I just wanted to thank you for allowing me the chance to speak today. I want to express that I take full responsibility for my actions. I understand that what I did was wrong, and I deeply regret the choices that led me here. I'm not here to excuse or minimize my actions, but to express my sincere remorse and to take accountability for the harm that was caused by my choices. I specifically want to apologize to the community members who were affected by my actions, as well as the involved law enforcement and other individuals who helped restore order the day of the incident and the days after. I know what I participated in was wrong, and if I were on the other side of it that night, I'd be very frustrated. This experience has been eye-opening and humbling. I've had time to reflect not only on what happened that night, but on the direction of my life, the people I've disappointed, and the person I want to become. I've taken many steps toward bettering myself, including individual and group therapy, support groups, personal reflection, and surrounding myself with better influences. I'm committed to continuing that growth regardless of the outcome today. I understand the court has a responsibility to ensure justice, and I respect that entirely. I only ask that you consider my willingness to change, my support system, and the progress I've already begun to make when deciding my sentence. I'm not the same person I was on September 28th, and I hope you can see that I'm working hard and doing everything I can to be better for myself, my family and friends, and for the community. Thank you again for your time and willingness to speak on my statement.
Well, I'll be Ashlyn Rogers. This is a picture perfect speech before sentencing. All you sentencees out there, man, listen up. Take notes. This is how it's done. Ashlyn Rogers deserves a slap on the wrist, Your Honor. Either way, I believe her, man. She's learned her lesson. She ain't trying to go to jail. She's not going to start up any more street takeovers. I can almost guarantee it. This is one of the situations where if nobody died or got injured, I strongly believe a slap on the wrist should be at hand. Even though I said that, look, this type of stuff is actually a very seriously dangerous situation, man. Anybody who's been in a car accident would know. These kind of stunts can leave someone dead instantly. I know a lot of y'all probably never gotten in a car accident, so you can't really understand, but I'm here to tell you when it happens, if it happens, I hope it never happens. It will shake you to the core, especially if you get seriously injured. It'll make you look at vehicles a totally different way. If I were to guess, she probably has never been in a serious car accident. Looks like the judge might not know exactly what to give her just yet. Contemplating.
Is there anything else the parties wish to say or present before the court closes the sentence?
Nope.
No, Your Honor.
Not on the behalf of the defense, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
That's
So
good.
before imposing the sentence, the court notes for the record, it has considered the record, the oral statements made here today, the pre-sentence investigation report that's been reviewed by the parties, as well as the defendant's sentencing memorandum with the attached letters, as well as the information that was provided by and presented by the state. The court has also considered the plea negotiations, the information provided with regards to through the state with regards to the law enforcement, any other information relied upon that was attached to the letters and memorandums, the facts of the indictment, the criminal history of the defendant. The court has considered all relevant factors outlined under Ohio Revised Code 2929.11, 2929.12, and 2929.13, including seriousness of the offense and recidivism factors through 2929.19. The court must and has formulated its decision based upon the overriding principles and purposes of felony sentencing, namely to protect the public from future crime by the defendant or others, and to punish the offender using the minimum sanctions that the court determines accomplishes those purposes without imposing an unnecessary burden on state or local government resources. To achieve these purposes, the court has considered the need for incapacitation, deterrence, rehabilitation, and providing for restitution. The court must and has considered the seriousness and recidivism factors relevant to the offense and offender pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 2929.12. The court must and has ensured that the sentence being imposed does not demean the seriousness of the crime and the impact it has on the victims, and is consistent with other similar offenses committed by like offenders. And finally, the sentence is not based upon any impermissible purposes, namely the race, ethnic background, gender, or religion of Ms. Rogers. Do you understand that, Ms. Rogers?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so what the court's inclined to do is, for starting with count 2, disrupting public services, the court is going to sentence you to the maximum amount of time, which is 18 months in prison.
Wow. Bobby, don't do it. She just got her nails done. Don't smoke her. Alright. Can't believe he's actually listening to me this time. Bobby! Stop playing with me, man!
There was also a specification for forfeiture of property on that count, which would be the forfeiture of the 2020 Infiniti Q50 with a VIN number JN1EB7AR5LM250122, as well as a cell phone to be forfeited to the Cleveland Division of Police. As for count 1, the court is going to sentence you to the maximum amount of time in prison, which is 12 months in prison. Those sentences will run concurrent.
Concurrent. Alright, so we're at 18 months now with the concurrent status.
Those also, count 1 also carried the specification for forfeiture of property with regards to the 2020 Infiniti Q50 and the cell phone. So those will be forfeited to the Cleveland Division of Police. Counsel, you also previously stated there was a 2-day jail credit. Does that sound accurate to the attorneys?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
So we'll give you credit for 2 days in jail. Counsel, did you wish to be heard with regards to court costs and fines?
I would simply ask the court to consider waiving them, Your Honor, at this time. Yes.
Are you asking for a finding of indigency?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The court will make a finding of indigency. I think we've addressed the previous plea conditions, which were the forfeiture of both the vehicle and the cell phone to the Cleveland Division of Police. There is a 2-day credit in jail. So I also have to address with you post-release control. Since you are being sentenced to prison, upon completion of your prison term, you may or shall be subject to post-release control for up to 2 years as determined by the parole board pursuant to Ohio Revised Code.
Post-release control is like probation, meaning you got to be an angel, or else if not, she gets in trouble, she could probably get that 2 years back. In prison, not on probation.
7.28. And that's up to 2 years at the discretion of the parole board and not of this court. If you are placed on post-release control and you violate, the adult parole authority is authorized to return you to prison for up to a maximum of 1/2 of the original sentence imposed. If you're convicted of a new felony while on post-release control, in addition to being punished for the new offense, the judge could add an additional consecutive prison term of 1 year or whatever time remains on your post-release control term, whichever is greater as a maximum. While you're on post-release control and you fail to report to your parole officer, you could be charged with escape, which is a felony. If you violate any post-release control rule or condition, you may be subject to a more restrictive rule or condition, a longer duration under supervision, or you could be sent back to prison even though you have done all of the time in which you have been sentenced. You could get up to 9 months in prison for each rule violation. The total, however, for all rule violations cannot be more than 1/2 of the prison sentence you receive unless the rule violation is for the commission of a new felony, in which case you could receive a prison term of the greater of 1 year or the time remaining on post-release control, in addition to any time you receive for the new felony.
Wow, so if she messes up, gets in trouble, she has to do 1/2 of the time that she has left. But if she brings back a felony, she'll have to do all the time, which is 2 years, I believe. The 1/2 goes out the window and she'll be sentenced for the new felony as well. This is how many people start their career criminal days. Probation, all this stuff, and just keep on messing up. It keeps piling up on them. The ditch becomes so deep that they just, learn to cope with prison as their home from here on out. Sad. Hopefully it don't happen to her, but if I were to bet it all, she's going to come out of there learning her lesson 100%.
Prison term must be served consecutively to any prison term you receive for the new felony. Councils, is there anything else we need to address before we adjourn today?
For the record, we would just note our objection to the court's formulation of the steps. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, if there's nothing further, then we will adjourn. Thank you.
It's all right, ma'am. Go on, get under that fire retardant blanket and, gobble up those trays, get your weight up a little bit, and you'll be back good as new. Bobby, no! Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 18 months in prison for conducting a street takeover. And look, trust me, if I were to guess, if someone got killed during that whole incident, she'd be facing like life in prison, murder gang, manslaughter, something. So any individuals out there that participate in these street takeovers, don't forget what I said could become your way if you get caught up with the law. Car, phone taken, fines, felonies. Really think twice before engaging in any of those activities. I'm out here though, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you learned something today and enjoyed yourself. If you did, and you're new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And more importantly than anything, y'all be easy, be safe, and stay free.